welcome to this video. I'm going to be starting a new series starting today where I'm going to take a deck that's either popular or in the metagame or popular on MTG Arena or a jank deck, and I'm going to play it for you. I'm going to try to do maybe 2 best of 1s and a best of 3, possibly 2 best of 3s. We'll see on time, and then win or lose, I'm going to put the video up, and then everybody can look and see whether or not the deck is something they want to play or not play by the win or loss record or by the fun ability of it, or for whatever reason, whatever they would like. But I just want to give everybody kind of a view of decks that I see online or decks that I see in game, and then put them out for you, explain how they work, show you the deck list, show you the sideboard if there is one. If there isn't one, I will build one so you can see a best of 3 series, and we will put it out on video here for everybody to see. So today's deck is going to be Esper Amass. This is a deck that I took from a viewer, and I changed and put my own. It was at first an Orzhov Amass deck. I added an Unbreakable Formation and God Eternal Oketra, and I added in some removal. Switched some stuff around, so I almost completely arranged the deck and made it my own. So here is Esper Amass. As you can see, I have 3 Diregraf Ghouls, 2 Dread Malkins, 4 Eternal Taskmasters, 3 Thought Erasers, 3 Tyrant Scorns, 2 Unbreakable Formation, 4 Death Barons, 3 Mortifies, 3 Gleaming Overseers, 2 God Eternal Kefnets, 2 Vraska Contempts, 2 God Eternal Oketras, and 3 Eternal Skylords, along with 6 Swamp, 1 Glacial Fortress, 4 Hallowed Fountains, 4 Godless Shrines, 1 Isolated Chapel, 4 Drowned Catacomb, and 4 Watery Grave. Of course, you can make this whatever you want. We don't have a sideboard yet, so that's what I'm going to do for you now. I'm going to throw some Duress in, we'll throw 3 Duress and 3 Negates. And let's see, what else are we missing? I believe we can go with a couple of Kaya's Wraths. Just put 2 in. That's for, crazy things. Actually, you know what? That's the wrong sideboard anyway. Instead, I'm going to go with Cry of the Carnarium. It's for White Weenie, Mono Red, things like that. Let's see here. What else works? I think I will put a couple of Unmoored Ego. And then what else? I could go with a couple of Cleansing Novas for artifact and enchantment removal. Oops, again wrong. Boom, there. Well, what else could we possibly do with this? We go blue, black, or we could go black, white. We could just go mono with it. I know what I can put in here. Let's go with Planeswalker. And we'll just do black. And we will put in a couple of Liliana Dreadhorde Generals. And that will be a done deal. Okay, so this sideboard, obviously the dress, the negates are for control aspects. Cryocarnarian for the white weenie, mono red, mono blue matchups. Unmoored Ego, pretty much any deck you can use that for to take out key cards if you know what you're playing against, especially things that have hexproof like Carnage Tyrant. Cleansing Nova is for decks that have a lot of artifacts. You know, you got the Tezzeret deck that's going around, and Ujin, and the new Karn, the old Karn. Then you have your enchantment. You know, obviously Wilderness Reclamation, things like that. The Liliana Dreadhorde is just if you have to make a little bit more creature, or if you're running against a high volume of creatures against you, any aggro decks, mid range, things like that would be good to sideboard this into. So that's our sideboard. Try to do this fairly quickly each day with the video, because obviously you don't want to listen to a huge write-up on the decks. I'm not going to go over land. You can do whatever you want with the land. You can play around with it or use what I do. So we'll go ahead and go into this look for it. Obviously we have Diregraf Ghoul. This is set around zombies. Obviously we would rather have zombie tokens. So if you wanted to use, at first I was using the let's see, zombie token. At first I was using the Doom Dissenter, but I was noticing that people didn't block with it, block it when it attacked, and I found it kind of slow when I was using it to block and then creating a zombie token, so I took it out, but you're more than welcome to put that back in. Some of your other choices are Dreadhorde Invasion. I did have that in the deck. I felt like it was self-mutilation. Graveyard Marshal was a thought that I had, but I think it's a little slow. You can put Midnight Reaper in, and I might end up changing this later to put the Midnight Reaper in. It's good for card draw, but again, I felt like I was getting a lot of self-mutilation going on there, especially when I had 2 or 3 Midnight Reapers on the board. If you don't put them on the board, then they just sit in your hand and become dead cards. So anyway, Vizier the Scorpion is another amass that you can use, but I felt it was kind of weak. It was a chump blocker, but it was filling up my deck, and it wasn't really usable. Jasu Vest Lich Knight, very good card, but if you're going to try to use it for its kicker, it's very slow, and it's a good card just for the 4 of, and it can't be killed with like Cast Stone. But again, I just thought that it's just I had better choices in the gods, which is God Eternal Ketra and God Eternal Kefnet. Just worked better in the deck, I think. So, Awaken the Urswalb, never tried it, but you're welcome to try it. I think it's a little clunky. Open the Graves, again, good card, but it's a little clunky in this deck. A little too slow. Obviously, we have that in our sideboard. Gleaming Oversire we have, and we're not red, so we can't use Captive Audience. So that's the zombie tokens theory. So I went with the Diregraf Ghoul. It does come in the board tapped, but once you get it on the board, second turn it can attack and do some pretty good damage in most of your lineups. Dream Malkin is another 1-drop that I like because you can drop it in. It usually gets a first attack because it's Menace. Later on down the road, if you want to sacrifice one of your tokens to make it bigger, you can. You got Eternal Taskmaster, brings back from your grave. Again, great card for this deck. It's a zombie, but it can also bring back cards that get killed early on for 3 mana. And they return to your hand. But either way, it's just for a 2-drop. It's just nice. It's a 2/3. Uh, Once we put Death Baron, which I'll get to, it becomes a 3/4, and then it's a monster 2-drop. So I have 3 Thought Erasures in the main, just because of the fact that, there's so many things. If you can get this in your deck in the first 1, 2, or 3, obviously 2, it can start working for you, but 2 or 3, later on in the game, it becomes kind of a dead card, but you can still surveil, which makes it beneficial for your main deck. So Thought Erasure is obviously a good card. I won't go into it. I'm sure everybody knows how good it is. And then we got some early removal with the Tyrant Scorn. You can either remove your 3 mana drops or less, or you can destroy those, or you can return big things to their hand if they're in your way and you need to work around them. And it's cheap. It's only a 2-drop. In this deck, it's very easy to have a blue and a black on the board, so it becomes a very cheap removal. One of our key cards in this deck, you want to try to get to this card. It's Death Baron. Obviously, people have known this card from M19, but skeletons you control and other zombies, which obviously we don't have skeletons, but zombies you control get 1/1/1 and have Death Touch. If you have two Death Barons on the board, your whole board has Death Touch at that point. Death Baron included. If you do only have 1 Baron on the board, obviously he doesn't make himself Death Touch, so you have to be careful with blocking with him. Only do it on a chump block if you have to, because then all your creatures lose the +1/+1 on Death Touch ability. Next, we have a very good card for our tokens. Not only does it create a token, but it also makes all your tokens, zombie tokens, have hexproof and menace. So once you start building tokens on the board, this becomes a very, very, very awesome card. I have 2 of Unbreakable Formation. This puts +1/+1 counters on your entire board if you use it in your main phase. Also, it's good for things like Cleansing Nova and Kaya's Wrath. So if you are able to have the mana set up and have this in your hand on your opponent's turn and they cast a board wipe, the only thing it doesn't help you with is Settle the Wreckage board wipes. All the 3 other ones, the Kaya's Wrath, the Cleansing Nova, and the Time Sweep, if you play this after they've cast that board wipe, it would only board wipe their creatures, not yours, because Unbreakable Formation gives... I'm sorry. It does not work against... I'm sorry. It works against anything that destroys, because it makes them... Yeah, it does. I'm sorry. It does work against anything but exile. So anything that exiles your creatures, Unbreakable Formation will not work against. Anything that destroys, they become indestructible, and they live through those board wipes again, except for Settle the Record. Sorry for the stumble. It's early morning for me. I work nights, so I'm a little bit out of touch. Obviously, we have Mortify in here for point creature removal, also for again against enchantment decks like Wilderness Reclamation and things like that. It also works against Ixalan's Binding. It works against Conclave Tribunal, Dawn of Hope, things like that. Any interesting enchantments, Dreadhorde Invasion for one. If you think you're getting overpowered by their Amass army. So, we all know how good Mortify is. God Eternal Kefnet, one of the new cards. I'm going to go over this card a little bit today because some people know, and obviously it's been a week now since the set's been out, but almost a week. God Eternal Kefnet is a zombie god. Every god has the same... there's 4 gods, one in each... Or 5 gods, excuse me. One in each color. And these gods are so awesome because they can be killed. They can uh, be removed. However, once they do, you have the ability to put it third card from the top of your deck, or just let it go to graveyard if you have some graveyard removal to bring back on the battlefield. So some people play it that way too. So either way, this card can be brought back depending on which deck you have, how you want to utilize it. But it can be killed, but it's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. So even if it gets exiled, so let's say you let it go. Let's say you're playing a deck that this is all gods, by the way, all 5 gods. If you're playing a deck that, you know, hey, I want it to go to the graveyard. I don't want to put it back in my deck because maybe it makes creatures larger if you have more creatures in your graveyard, or possibly maybe you have another God Eternal in your hand, or you have some way of bringing the god back from your graveyard. And let's say your opponent has a card that exiles all your cards out of your graveyard. If a god gets exiled this way, it can still end up back in your deck third from the top. So again, this is very, very hard to remove a god from the deck. Now, going into God Eternal Kefnet's features, number one, it's a flying 4/5 for 4 mana, 2 blue, 2 colorless, which is so strong in itself. Flyers are beneficial in this game. Also, it has the ability to reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it, and if you do reveal it, then if you do reveal an instant or sorcery card, so do not reveal anything unless it's an instant or sorcery, and even then, depending on how you want to play the instant or sorcery, the only time you want to reveal any card is if you plan on copying it, because that copy costs 2 less to cast if you reveal it. So say they've got a Planeswalker on the board. My card shows you the card first. Say it's a Vraska's Contempt or a Thought Erasure or whatever, and you want it. Well, obviously Thought Erasure you wouldn't want to reveal because there's no colorless mana in there, but say Vraska's Contempt, and you reveal it. Once you reveal it, that card only costs 2 black mana instead of 2 black and 2 colorless, because you lose 2 colorless to the copy from God Eternal Kefnet's ability. So you can play Vraska's Contempt that turn for 2 black mana and kill, because obviously it'll be a lot easier to kill something for less mana. So anyway, that's how God Eternal Kefnet's abilities work. So on to Vraska's Contempt. This is in there. Also, Kefnet's in here because it's a zombie. Obviously, the gods are zombies. So Vraska's Contempt, we all know what this card does. Exile a creature or planeswalker, you gain 2 life. Next god is the God Eternal Oketra. Number 1, it's a double strike. Number 2, and this is why the biggest reason it's in the deck, not only is it a double strike 3/6, which makes it very strong, but it's also able, whenever you cast a creature spell, you create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. So very strong in this deck when you're building tokens, because if you have Death Baron on the board, it becomes a 5/5 zombie warrior. And if you have our Gleaming Overseer, it's not only a 5/5, but it's also hexproof and menace, because Gleaming Overseer provides that great ability. Not only does it amass 1, but your tokens have hexproof and menace. So next card is Eternal Skylord. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck besides the gods, because it makes a 2 amass army, and then makes all your zombie tokens have flying. So, if the combo works, you're able to have Gleaming Overseer and Skylord on the board. And then all your tokens have Flying, Hexproof, and Menace, which makes them very hard to kill. And they put in the work and do some major damage. So that's the deck. You saw the land. Now we will go and we will save. Let's see, save and exit, and we will start off with a. We will start off with a play. Best of 1. We'll run 2 best of 1s and then at least 1 best of 3. And you can get an idea of how the deck works and whether or not you want to play it. Again, I'm going to play this video. I am not going to be editing gameplay. Win or lose, it will be put up on for you to see. You might not like how I play it, and maybe you have a different idea of how it should be played, and that's fine. But I'm just going to play my best game and try to win. And if I do not, I'm still going to put it up there. And then you can make a decision on whether or not you want to try the deck or you don't like the deck. And we'll do, I'll try to do at least a couple of these a week to give viewers and subscribers an idea of whether or not they want. Now you'll be able to see this on YouTube. That's where I'll upload the video. I think I'll get my Taskmaster out there first. Both of these tapped, but this is a 2-3 and this is a 2-2. Now we should be able to attack with the Taskmaster. Yeah. So they're not going to block with the Pteramander here, so we'll drop this and we'll attack. And then we will Tyrant Scorn Pteramander. And I probably should have put another Swamp down at some point in the first 3 so I could have cast the Ghoul as well just now, but it's okay. Narset is a very nasty new card in the deck. It only allows you to draw 1 card. That was a very nasty card to have in the deck too. That will make it okay for him to kill one of our... he's going to be able to kill one of our creatures, also amass 4, and make me discard 4 cards. So that becomes a very nasty thing. So I'm going to just try to do as much damage as I can right now. Auto Tapper screwed me there, because I should have been able to cast that Fool. This is a good thing about this is it's Menace because it's a token, so we can still keep attacking with this. So I like another Dreamwalking for more Menace. And we'll throw one of our ghouls out. And we will attack with our Menace. If he has another land, he will probably use Enter the Gods. So that was revealed, so they can pay this for 1 mana. They can cast Chart a Course for 1 blue mana here. Okay. Very strong against us with the Cry of Carnarium. If I was sideboarding against this deck, I would definitely put in possibly Duress, Negates. So we will pay the 2 life. Put this on the board. And no attacks. This is how strong God Eternal Kefnet is. I mean, any other flyer, I'd probably just go ahead and attack, but this is a 4/5 for 4 mana, and it's comes back. So he's probably going to God Pharaoh's Enter the Gods Eternals on the Skylord. Wow. On the Taskmaster, that was not something I thought would happen. So we'll be able to attack with the zombie army. He's just doing that hoping I will block, but I'm not going to. I would if I had the Death Baron on the board, but no blocks. Take the damage. And we'll just drop the Ghoul and attack with this. And the turn. Obviously, I'm not getting the cards I want. This is a good matchup for us in a bad way. Because they're doing a lot of the same things, but with some of our sideboard cards.
And shine.
We'd be in a lot better shape right now if we could get one of our gods, but we keep drawing lands, so unfortunately that's just the way it is. Let's see, do I want to get rid of let's see, that's 7. Yeah, we do not need this getting to the 9, but I'm gonna go to face. Some of our removal would be nice here too. Like what you just drew would have been nice. Obviously we're not going to be flying anymore. Yeah, that's a good choice by our opponent. Because now he's got enough to block. And he can just keep attacking with Kefnet now. So we're not looking very good. But we do have some outs as the game goes on, so we'll just stick around for a little bit just for the purposes of the video. Obviously we got a bad matchup. Not able to block there. And we are at the point where we're pretty much dead. Yeah, so good game, opponent. Go back in, and we will. This is the Dimir Kefnet deck, by the way, that's going around. I will probably showcase that deck eventually at some point in further videos. It's a very strong deck. This deck is fun to play, and I like the. But you have to get the right cards in your hand. Obviously, Baron is an essential card. One of the gods is essential, especially the white god, so you can start building tokens. So if you wanted to put, say, 3 Oketra and 1 Kefnet instead of 2 and 2, that's I could see an argument for that. We have turn to Taskmaster. We have early removal, so we will keep this. I prefer to start off with 3 land and 1 or 2 key cards, but beggars can't be choosy. Throwing Eternal Taskmaster. This is such a strong uncommon 2-drop, especially for this deck. Not necessarily for all decks, but I think we'll go ahead and throw Death Baron down here and attack. Don't expect this to last very long. So one thing about the Baron, if you're going up against any type of removal deck, as soon as Baron hits the board, if they can, they are going to try to remove it. obviously, it is just a really bad, nasty card to have on the board. And there you go, Gates Ablaze. But we've pulled at least one out now. We need one more blue mana source to throw out the Kefnet. So we will exile the Colossus, because that's a nasty card. Alright, we will pay the 2 life. We have it to spare to put out the Eternal Ketra. Any creature card that we cast from here on out, as long as this is on the board, will create a 4/4 zombie token. So now we just need a blue mana source or another creature card that we can play. Our opponent's gearing up for probably an angel or a big Gatebreaker Ram. Okay, so this goes down, creates a 4/4 zombie token. Attacking with God Eternal Ketra. 6 points of damage is a lot to take, so I imagine the opponent's going to do something about this, whether it be Gates Ablaze or putting down a ram. Sure. They're digging for the Gates Ablaze, I'm sure. Gate Colossus would help them. Gatebreaker Ram. Archway Angel would gain him a lot of life. Guild Summit doesn't help him because I'm going to mortify it. I could also return it. Oh, that's a creature. Never mind. So that's why we have Mortify in the deck for Guild Summit. Okay. We will put, we don't have any way, well we do with the Taskmaster, but it's in the graveyard and we don't have another one in hand, so we will take action to put this third from the top. Blue source would help. Did not get it. So we're kind of a little mana screwed right now without having a second blue mana source. It makes it tough. We'd like to have Kefnet on the board. I could have had it on the board turn 4 with another blue source of mana. Our opponent has a lot of mana, but they're kind of hurting down to 1 card in hand, and now they're down to 0 because they only have a land here. Our opponent's become a landlord. They are flooded. But they did just anything that they don't. There's nothing in their deck that they can't cast now. So blue mana source would be really good right here. And we didn't get it, but we do have this. So if it doesn't get killed, which it won't because I have an Unbreakable Formation, we'll be able to cast Ketra. Yeah, the opponent had to start drawing some creatures or removal, and they just got mana flooded. So, all right, so that's 2 best of 1s. Now we will go into traditional play best of 3. Same deck, and depending on how the length of this, most likely we'll just do 1 best of 3 because this is a best of 1 deck pretty much. You can sideboard differently if you want. That's just the sideboard I've chosen. But this isn't a very strong, I don't believe, a very strong best of 3. Now, I might change my mind after this game, but against the most of your best of 3s going on right now in this format. Now, understand I am in Diamond rank, so we're playing against Diamond rank, other Diamond rank decks. I like this hand. So keep that in mind, because if you're playing in gold or silver or any of these, you probably are going to do a little better with the deck compared to what I'm doing here in Diamond. Obviously, Thought Erasure, most likely the God, possibly the Baron, but most likely the God. Might even do the Thought Erasure here if they've got a second Thought Erasure or a Duress in hand. Nope, they don't, so we will get a free Thought Erasure on them. We'll look at each other's deck. Obviously, Tamiyo's a good card. They can draw cards. This is good against us because it's removal. But we do not want to go up against Nicol Bolas this early in the game, so we will get rid of that. And I will keep that because it can pull my Kefnet back. Once I get enough 3 mana, I can get Kefnet back in my hand. I think I will. I think I pay the 2 life because I want to get both this and the Ghoul on the board since they're both tapped. He can remove 1 with the Anger's Rampage if he chooses. And obviously we would pick the Ghoul. Okay, that will get mortified. So we'll go ahead and mortify the Thief of Sanity. Nasty card. And we will attack with both. We can't bring that on, so we can't pay the 3. And Water Grave. Depending on if he puts a creature on the board, I will cast the Death Baron. If he doesn't do anything, which obviously he's just drawing cards, so he's already dropped a land, so I don't think he's got anything that will cost 1 mana. So next we will just attack and we will put our Kefnet back in hand. Force him to find a Thought Erasure or a counter if he has any. We haven't seen any yet. So yeah, I'm just going to attack here. I'm going to pay the 3. And now we have Kefnet back in hand. So now if the Taskmaster gets removed, not as serious. Sure. Yep. Okay. And we will put Kefnet on the board. And no attacks. If I had Death Baron on the board, I would have attacked with Ghoul because they would not block. Wow. It's a strong card. No, I think this is a 4. Yeah, it's a 4/5. Oh, because it amasses first. Okay. Yeah, that's sweet. That's a good card. Okay, we're gonna have to deal with the zombie army right away because we're down to 12. So unfortunately, we won't be casting anything except for Vraska's Contempt because we don't have mana to do anything else. So. Alright, they can use this. Nope, they can't use it for anything other than creatures, artifacts, and planeswalkers, so we're good. Hopefully they don't have a creature to cast. We will drop both of our... No, we're going to drop 1, and we're going to keep our formation handy. Just in case they have widespread. Oh wow, sacrifices, so they can make a sacrifice, but at least it's gonna pull the Rampage. He might want to keep that for the Kefnet, so he might not even play it here. But I forgot Unbreakable Formation does not work for... It does work for that, however. Alright. I'm not sure why this... Did I mess up and not put this back in my... I think I might have. Oh well. If he blocks, he dies, so he doesn't block. If he attacks before removing, I will block. But most likely he's going to, yeah, he's going to remove. So we'll go ahead and do that because we're not going to block with a 2/2 here. And now we'll be down to 10 unless it decides to. Yep, see, we're in trouble here. Yeah, we don't have removal. We'll go ahead and wait for one more card. But this will probably be a concede. Again, this deck would probably work better in lower ranks. There's just too many better decks in Diamond and Mythic, even Platinum. Platinum, this can work in Platinum, I think, but you're only going to be probably 40%, possibly 50%, and then you go to Diamond and you're going to be 40, 30, 40, and obviously Mythic, it's, you know, it would be good to... We will cast this and we will say good game, and we will go to the sideboard. Okay, so obviously we're playing against a Miragan. I like Unmoored Ego to get rid of the Kefnet. I like our Negate for that his pesky removal. What do I take out though? I think as good of a card as this is, it's kind of slow in this matchup. We need to get rid of 2 more cards. I think the Unbreakable Formation did some work, but we can probably go down to 1. I think he only had the Kefnet. I didn't see any other gods, so I think Unmoored Ego can go down to 1 because that's the only thing we're going to use it for. A Duress could help, but then it limits how many creatures we have, and we don't want that. I guess we could take away a Thought Erasure and put a Duress in. I don't think Tyrant Squad could do some work. Mortified did work. Yeah, so let's go with this. If we get the Unmoored Ego early, we can get rid of his Kefnets. Because the ability to put the god into your deck, third from the top, has to come from the board. So if it gets countered or if it gets removed, then it goes into the graveyard. Once it hits the board, though, it can be put back into your deck. And we will keep this. I'd like to see a Duress or a Thought Erasure, but go pay the 2 life because we need to get on board quick. Against decks like this that are better in the late game, we have to do as much damage as we can as quickly as possible. We will attack. Drop a Taskmaster. He does have early removal, so... Alright, so we'll probably lose our other Taskmaster, possibly the Mortify. Yeah, Taskmaster, okay. So we need to start drawing our creatures fairly quickly. A god would be nice real soon. Now we'll bring our Taskmaster back. Yep. Okay, so we attack. And we'll drop Water Grave. And return Taskmaster. We really need a god. We gotta have a god before he has a god. Nope. He's got his god out first. And once again, we're hurting. So, we will return this to his hand. Because obviously, Mortify puts him 3 from the top. So, that's an option later. But for now, we should win as long as he doesn't have removal. Because if he puts the Kefnet back on the board, we win. If he can only remove 1 of our creatures, we still win. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we just have to... This deck, Dimir is very good, but it's better in the late game. So we need to get on the board and get off quick. Again, that's why we took the Skylord out. Took some of our stuff out here. Let's see. Sorry about that. My alarm telling me to wake up for my stream. I do work nights. I almost wish I had on my sideboard a few more early creature zombies, like I might put in the Doomed Dissenter, because against this deck I would love to have Doomed Dissenter into this deck right now, so we'd have early creatures. But I don't see anything else that really helps us here that makes us faster, so I think I stick with what I have. And it worked against him last time, so I'd love to get that Unmoored Ego turn 3 and be able to cast it to remove his gods, because that really limits his deck to his Amass, which are easier to remove than the Kefnet. Alright, we have Kefnet in hand. We have a Thought Erasure. We have Tyrant Scorn. We have our other god. We need mana. It's not going to be as quick, but we do have some answers to threats if we can get off quick. Yeah, I think it's worth it to duress here. Oh yeah. Wow, both of these are nasty, but we'll go with Nicopolis first. Then we'll pay the 2 life to Thought Erasure if he doesn't Thought Erasure us first to pull out the first Kefnet. Pay 2 life. Get rid of Kefnet here. That's another thought, but we do have Negate. That only works if I have a creature on the board. So we can Ghoul, and then we can negate if we had a land, but we don't. So we will not cast the Ghoul because, let's see, no, 2, 4, 5. We have time. I'll be able to negate the God Eternal. That's helpful. Or I can Unbreakable Formation. And we'll end the turn. Okay, he's missing his land drops, which is very helpful for us. So we will pay the 2 life. We will attack. And we will put the God Eternals up. Alright, he's got his land drop. I've possibly a god here. Nope, the devil. Okay. Now this time we're not going to mess up. We're going to make sure that we take action. Alright. And we will pay the 2 life again. We will attack. And we will drop our god. Eternal Ketra. Now this is good against Kefnet, because it's double strike and it will kill Kefnet if it blocks. If Kefnet blocks him, he can't block Kefnet because he's flying. Shit. Would have been nice to have a negate up here, but whatever. I can get rid of that fairly easy. So we will... He loses his blocker. So in the sideboard, kind of helps us out, makes us a lot more strong. Or stronger, however you want to put it. Yeah, we don't want them to draw any more cards, so we'll negate this. I believe being able to negate Eugene would be nice, but drawing more cards is kind of nasty here. One more hit and he's dead. This does not make him... see, now if he passes Eugene... Okay, so he can get rid of... let's see. Is this destroy? Okay, so I can Unbreakable Formation. And that's game. Yep, that's game. Okay, so there we go. Best of 3. We won best of 3. We lost both of our best of 1s. So take your pick on whether or not this is a good best of 3 or not. For today, I think that's enough. We've got quite a bit of time on this video. So thanks for watching. Again, please feel free to watch me on stream. I stream Monday through Friday, 12:30 to 3 approximately, sometimes till 4. I have a new series coming out today, which is Put the Beat Down on Badass. It allows you to come into my stream, bring a deck. Obviously, you have your decks online, and follow or subscribe to be able to have a chance to direct challenge me on my stream. And you know, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but with a follow or a subscribe, please, if you like content, like, subscribe, leave me comments. Thanks for watching the video. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at badass77a. You can also reach me through email, badass77mtgarena@yahoo.com. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.